Okay, let's do some Pesach laws. Rabotai. Right, Pesach. Let's do Pesach. Which one did I want to do? Okay, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nehiyah b'vado. Amen. All right, so what we're going to do is, no one is pressured to stay for longer than you want to. Obviously, we have this class and then the ladies' class. Go ahead, out of here. But instead of doing one halacha and then the parasha class, I want to do like 3 halachot. But you can leave after 1 or 2 or whatever. Because I'm getting yelled at by people. Everyone's coming to me saying, you don't teach enough halacha, Pesach is coming. You can guess who's saying all this, okay? Nobody related to me. מדבר המנהג שנוהגים לפזר 10 חתיכות של חמץ בכל פינות הבית. Regarding this custom that people have to put the 10 pieces of hametz, of bread, all around the house, לפני בדיקת חמץ בליל 14 בניסן, before we check, ובעל הבית הבודק את החמץ מחזר אחריהם למוצאם, and then the בעל הבית is trying to find these 10 pieces, כדי לבערם עם יתר החמץ ביום 14 בניסן, so you can find them and burn them. האם יש יסוד למנהג זה על פי הלכה? Is this custom a halachic custom? What do you say, Yossi? The 10 pieces.
The halachic custom?
Yeah. Is it a halachic thing? Do we need it? Does it serve a halachic function?
I lean no.
You lean no? Moshe? The 10 pieces. Hiding the 10 pieces of bread. Nehemiah? Kabbalah? Does it have a halachic basis? Is it necessary for any halachic reason?
I'm sure it's based on that. It's a format. We're taking the.
Where's the pasuk? Yeah. Not really. Tashbitu seor. Tashbitu. Yeah. But you make it sound so good. And Nehemiah said it's Kabbalah. Okay. Yeah, Moshe, bring your Shulchan Aruch that you donated if you don't mind. Here, in memory of Eliyahu Yonah.
It's a minhag out of a sort of a concept. That's my answer.
Let's see if is it in Shulchan Aruch? You're good at it. Does Maran Shulchan Aruch bring this custom down? Yossi? Maran Shulchan Aruch?
I don't think so. Again, I'm purely speculating.
You're good. You're a good speculator. Maran Shulchan Aruch does not bring this halakha. Hara'abad b'shut tamim de'im katav. The Ravid, Ashkenaz. Ele hanotnim hametz bechorim u'besedakim b'shat b'dikat hametz. These guys who put hametz all on the cracks and crevices, ma'aseh nashimhu, which is a halakhic way of saying it's an old wives' tale. Nonsense. Don't translate that. Ve'en lo shoresh, and there is no source for this custom at all. Wow, that's the Ravad, that's the Ravid. In the Orhot Haim, Hosif, he adds, Sha'afa pishinagu ken b'ksat mikomot, even though this is the custom in some places, mipnei shehasheshu pen lo yimatzeh hametz v'tiyeh b'chato lebatala. They're afraid, what if I don't find any hametz? My wife cleaned, I cleaned so good. If I do vidika and I find no hametz, Moshe is b'chato lebatala, no?
Good point. It seems.
Mikom makom, who said no? Mikom makom, anul.
But if you clean so well, it means that you were a mevael.
Because you do that before this man.
So it's a label. But then we say you can say agomeli.
Yeah, but this is not gomel. This is tashbitu. Tashbitu. Mikom makom, anu lo hashashnu lazeh. We don't care about this thing. Like Nehemiah is saying, we don't care about this b'chalabat Allah concern. The fisha da'atenu. Why? כשמברכים על ביעור חמץ, the blessing we make on the בדיקה is not על בדיקת חמץ, it's על ביעור חמץ. But when we make this ברכה, what's the כוונה? שנבער הכל אם נמצא. If we find חמץ, we'll bless it. We'll burn it. I'm skipping a little bit. שהרי אין אנו מברכים על מציאת חמץ. We don't make a ברכה to find the חמץ. That's not the goal. The goal is if we find something to burn it. אך בשבוע הלקט כתב, he writes, מצאתי בתשובת הגאונים, כשמברך על הביעור, אינו חושש אם אינו מוצא חמץ. It doesn't matter if you don't find anything. שמכל מקום נחשב כביעור, מה שמחזר אחריו, זה בערו, וחייב לברך. Just looking at the חמץ is counted as getting rid of it. If you're looking for it and you don't find any, you got rid of it. Abal says the Shavua Leket, Ahi, my brother, Rabbi Binyamin Katav, She'eno Soverkin, he disagrees with me. Shekivan She'aberach ala bedika, your blessing before the searching, V'ikar bedika hi abi'ud, and the point to search is to burn it. Amay barech, why are you making beracha if there's nothing to find? V'alo eno meva'ed, it's not doing anything. V'chen mashma b'chol pesach shel Rabbeinu Shlomo, and this is what it also seems from Rabbeinu Shlomo. In the Sefer Mahariv Vayal, he writes, "She'atam shenahagu ken kedei she'al yedei kach yizkor lebatel hametz lemahar b'sha'at habiyur." Why did they make this custom? So that everyone finds what's the opposite logic. Make sure you find something, because if you make sure you find something, you're going to remember to burn the hametz tomorrow. But if you don't find anything, you're not going to even think about biyur hametz the next day. Now, in Shulchan Aruch, this is Siman 432. So let's read Shulchan Aruch. Siman 432 in the Hilchot Pesach. That's fine. It's not Maran. He says here, Kodem sheyadhil libdok yibarech. Maran says before you make this search, you bless. Hasheki the channel al biur hametz. Try not to speak between the searching and between the beracha and the beginning of your search. Maran Shulchan says it's good not to speak unnecessarily the entire bedikat hametz. You're allowed to speak words that are relevant to the bedikat, like give me the flashlight, give me the bed. Not to speak. No, he doesn't say anything about the finding, the pieces.
Oh, just the whole bedikat.
The whole bedikat. Try not to speak. Yeah, it's going to come now in a second. With one blessing, you can check all of your properties. And if you want, have your children or other friends with you, and they're all your shaliyah, and everyone gets a spot. So one guy when I was a kid, like one guy gets the car, one guy gets the restaurant, the shop, one guy gets this room, that room. Everyone's a shaliyah if they're bar mitzvah. Haga, here's the Ramah. And the custom is to put pieces of hametz all around so that you can find them. So that you're not blessing for nothing. This is the Ramah. It's Ashkenaz. It's not a Sephardic halacha. This is using the words from Korbanot. If you didn't put the pieces, it doesn't matter. And it's not a beracha batala. Even the Ramah says, daat kol adam ima beracha leba'er im nimsa. Everyone has the kavanah, the beracha. If I find something, I'll burn it. If I don't find something, I don't find something. And so it's not beracha batala. And so this whole source is from the Ramah. It's not even Maran Shulchan Aruch. The Gaon Ya'abetz writes. Now the Ya'abetz always writes like fantastical things. Ya'abetz is known. He's a very colorful rabbi. He always goes outside the box. He writes, She'agaon Mar Abiva Hacham Tzvi, his father, the Hacham Tzvi, Haya lo'eg ala manichim petitim. He used to make fun of, he used to talk bad, criticize people who do this. Kedeshim Zayim Abodek. V'alfa Pisha Be'er Etev Katav Kim B'Shem Ha'arizal, even though Be'er Etev says this comes from the Arizal Al Pi Kabbalah. Who Zal, he said, my father, the Hacham Tzvi, היה בקיא בכל כתבי האריזה, he knew all the Kabbalah. ושמע מינה שסובר שלא אמר כן האריזה מעולם. And he said the Arizal never said to put 10 pieces of bread anywhere. ובאמת, שכן כתב בספר פרי עץ חיים בשם האריזל. אבל הגאון רבי חיים פלאז'י, the Kaf HaChaim writes, שכן ראוי לעשות על פי הסוד. That Kabbalistically it's good to put the 10 pieces. So now we have a mahloket. What is the intention of the Arizal? In the Shulchan Aruch HaGaon Rabbi Zalman, which is the Lubavitcher Shulchan Aruch, he writes, "Shechbad nepashet minhag." This is already the custom in the Klal Yisrael. U'minhag Yisrael Torah. And now, once it's the minhag, it's Torah. The Hoki Yaakov writes, it's good to do this. Why? If you put the bread out, it's going to make you try harder in the Bidikat Hametz. However, the Hagaon Rabbi Kalfon Moshe Kohen writes the opposite. She'adraba, the opposite. Yeah, exactly. If you put the 10 pieces out, the whole game stopped looking for Hametz now. The whole game is find the 10 pieces. Kim'at batla ikat takanat bedika. You're ruining the whole bedikat Hametz. Ki hamon ena mehapesim Hametz. Now no one's looking for Hametz anymore. רק נוהגים כמצוות אנשים מלומדה ומביטים אנה ואנה למצוא את הפתיתים בלבד. Only everyone wants to find the 10 pieces. And once you find the 10 pieces, the game's over. Like Pac-Man. No, the game's over. Everyone thinks this is the procedure. This is who's saying this? Rabbi Kalfon Moshe HaKohen. He says, therefore, teach people who ask you, don't put these pieces of bread out. Don't make a speech to the whole kahal. Regular people, tell them, do the 10 pieces of bread. If you have Hasidim who come, they want to be Mekubalim, they're already searching the house up and down for Bidika, and they want to ask you, should I do the 10 pieces as well? Fine, let them do it. The Mekubalim. These things are only for the people who are on high levels, but the regular guys, it's actually bad, says that Rabbi Kalfon Moshe, to put the 10 pieces out. This was the minhag. Where did he live? You have Google this? Kalfon Moshe? Kalfon Moshe HaKohen. This was with a kaf, Kalfon. This was the custom in his place. That they did not put the 10 pieces of bread out. All these new people, new Jews, they come out. They want to copy the Mekubalim, and they start putting 10 pieces everywhere. He says sitting and doing nothing is better. Don't put the 10 pieces out. There is no basis to this custom halachically. Ad kan tochen devarav. These are the strong words of Rabbi Kalfon Moshe HaKohen.
So basically, he says that Balim used to do it. Wasn't not Balim, but we're not there. We're not on the level.
And an average Joe.
The way we just look for it and we miss the.
And more. The average Joe, you're going to hurt him because he's not going to look for Hametz anymore. Tunisian. Wow, you're quick. Oh, Jerba. והן האמת, כי הגאון מהרי שפירא בשיטתו לפסחים, writes, שיש סמך נכון למנהג על פי מה שכתוב הפוסקים, שנוהגים לכבד ולנקות הבית ולבודקו מכל חשש חמץ, או לפני ליל 14. Rabbi Mahari Shapira says, no, since these days we clean the house so well, I think it used to be maybe that the Bidika night was the cleaning for Pesach night. Let's look for the Hametz, which means we're cleaning tonight. Also, they didn't have massive houses with all these cabinets and everything. So Bidika night, we'll clean for Pesach. I think it was a much simpler life back then. But nowadays, everyone's wiping the house clean back and forth for a month before Pesach. What are you looking for? There's nothing left. You can swear on your mother's life you're not going to find Hametz in this house. Yesh makom b'lechato. But if you put the bread out, at least you can make a beracha. These are the words of Rabbi Shapira. These days when we clean so clean, before the 14th, you gotta put the 10 pieces. Because there's a hashash, otherwise, what are you blessing for? Maran Shulchan Aruch says, straight out, Maran Shulchan Aruch. One who already cleaned his room on the 13th of Nisan. The checking is the 14th. One who already cleaned the room very well on the 13th. And he says, I want to do bidika tonight on the 13th. So he cleans it and he searches the 13th. And he said, no more hametz in this room. Nobody brought anything in. The next night he has to check again. Because he checked before this man. And you make a beracha. And so it has nothing to do with whether you find hametz or not. Okay. Let's skip a little bit and get to the end. Here, one more thing. While you're talking about Tunisians, is one more. Ish Masliach is Rabbi Mazuz. He writes, that was his rabbi, Rabbi Kalfon Moshe. He says, no, I don't agree with Rabbi Kalfon Moshe, who was very against the 10 pieces. And he says, you should put the 10 pieces out. We need to do it because the houses are too clean these days. It's already a custom, like Rabbi Zalman said, from the Lubavitch Shulchan Aruch. It's already our custom, now it's Torah. The Ravad, who said it's Ma'aseh Nashim, it's an old wives' tale. So they were doing it back then even. So we see he's using it in his credit. Oh, it must be they were using it even the days of the Ravad, of the Ravid, they're putting out these 10 pieces. Ela, what should you do? Just teach the people that they have to actually check the house. Finding the 10 pieces is not enough. All you got to do is teach the people. That's what Rabbi Mazuz says. Okay. However, Chacham Ovadia argues on Rabbi Mazuz, and he says you don't need to do it. Now, I'm skipping a little bit. Daat, says Chacham Ovadia, if you want to do this custom of the 10 pieces, en soref shehatichot shel hametz yeh kol achat me'en kazait. You don't need to make sure each piece is a big piece like a kazait. Ela kol shebetziruf kol hatichot yesh shiur kazait day bazeh. If you want to do the Kabbalistic custom, make it combine the 10 pieces are one kazait, but not that each one is a kazait on its own. The adarab, the opposite. It's better if pieces are actually small pieces and not big pieces. Don't make each piece a whole pita bread or a half of a pita bread. Why? What if you don't find the piece? What if you can't find the pieces? By the way, you write it down. Write it down beforehand. You don't have to be surprised. You can know exactly where it is. If you want to do the Kabbalistic custom, you can literally hide it and know where the spot is and go find it. It's just a ritual. And so what if you don't find one of the pieces? Don't make it a kazait, don't make it a big piece. And therefore, should be smaller pieces than a kazait. In summary, this custom to put 10 pieces of bread before the searching. And the Baal Bayit is looking for the 10 pieces in order to burn them the next day. It has a little bit of a smach. It has something in the words of the Aharonim. Kabbalistically, there is a custom, Kafahim said, 10 pieces of bread. About en sorech sheyefazirem dafka be'asra mekomot. But no one says there has to be in 10 different places. All 10 pieces could be in one place. Make sure each piece is small. And make sure it's wrapped good so it doesn't get all over the place. If you don't find one of the two pieces, don't freak out because each piece is less than a kadai, and you're going to do bitul tomorrow. And it goes without saying, if you didn't do this custom, if you don't do the custom of 10 pieces of bread, and you make a bidika and you find nothing, it is not a beracha batala. It's okay. The beracha is not to find something, it's if you find something. Okay, that's the custom of the 10 pieces. Exactly.